The last time the Giants were in New York, Citi Field was the place, and the NL Wild Card game was the event. With everything on the line, it was a classic pitching matchup between Noah Syndergaard and Madison Bumgarner. And true to form, it was all zeros until the ninth, when Connor Gillespie crushed a home run into the New York night to win the wild card. Tonight, they return with fond memories of their last trip. Giants-Mets next. The road trip continues. Tonight, we're in New York City at Citi Field as we get ready for Giants baseball, game one of this three-game series, Giants-Mets. Welcome to NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Jeremy Affelt. We're all very happy to get out of Cincinnati. This team the Giants are taking on, they've got some problems. The Giants are struggling. What do they need? They need a solid start from Matt Moore.
They do, and he's a big lefty that carries a lot of velocity with good movement, a good curveball. But what Matt Moore has been figuring out is he's looking to work on his cutter a little bit, and his fastball and his curveball. He's not commanding the zone, and he's getting behind in the count. If he throws the ball over the white part of the plate with his stuff, he does not have to be fine. And the Giants need him to go out there and give a quality start tonight, pound the zone, throw strikes, finish guys out with that wipeout curveball, and throw his cutter for strikes. He does that, this game is going to be a good game tonight.
And score some runs. Jake DeGrom is tough, but they need to get back on track swinging the bat. All right, should be fun here in the Big Apple. Stay tuned. We'll take you to our NBC Sports Bay Area studios for an update, and we'll do that right after this.
You buy Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By State Farm. Combine auto and renters and see how much you can save. Talk to an agent today. And by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon.
We are in New York City as we get ready for Giants baseball. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. It's a chilly night. It's 59 degrees. Humidity at 37%, and it is mostly cloudy. All right, let's take a look at the Giants lineup. And it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll go like this, basically the same lineup as yesterday. It'll be Joe Panik to lead things off. He loves it here. He's from here. Followed by Belt, Pence, and Posey. Christian Arroyo's back at short. He'll hit fifth. Then it's Nunez, Gillespie, and Hernandez. And Matt Moore, the lefty. Matt Moore is on the hill hitting ninth.
Big righty on the mound. One word, gas. This guy's got some velocity. They're going to see a lot of velocity coming at him with a really good slider. There it is. 60% gasoline, 25%, a little less than gasoline on the slider, occasional changeup and curveball, but just look for high velocity and hopefully we can get the bat head out, hit it a long way.
Look for hard stuff. Here it comes. So here's Panik. And the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and Panik takes a called strike. So we get started right on time here at Citi Field. And DeGrom throws to Panik, and Panik with a swing. Ain't gonna miss. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Panik is 1 for 8 lifetime against DeGrom. Coming into this game hitting at 291 with a home run and 9 driven in. Belt to follow on this cool Monday night. Got him with a high fastball, and that's how this game gets started.
That's that.
So here's Belt.
Defense behind DeGrom tonight. Pretty much left to right here. Conforto, Lagares, Bruce playing right. Rivera, Walker playing second. Reyes playing short. Flores, DeGrom pitching and throwing down fingers, blocking scuds. Rivera.
And here's Belt, who takes a pitch high. That last fastball at 96. And that will be your Xfinity fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. As Belt fouls it out of play to even the count. Giants extremely disappointed at what happened in Cincinnati, in a ballpark that is known to give up some runs. It just didn't happen. Giants scored 5 runs in that 3-game series. Belt fouls it out of play, getting shut out yesterday. And that man very unhappy. Arroyo, Garrett, and Feldman all started and all got wins. So here's the 1-2 to Belt, and it's down low. Pretty good take from Brandon Belt.
There's that good hard slider I was talking about. 89. That's a lot of guys' fastballs he's throwing as his off-speed wipeout pitch, but you're going to see the 96s. You're going to see it just over the plate. I don't think he's a big command guy. He comes right at you and he throws it hard.
No swing, so Belt works it to 3-2 like he does a lot of times.
And you see that this is an interesting shift for me. They actually, you know, Reyes actually was playing kind of in between short and third, take away a possible bunt. He doesn't do it as much as I think he should, but now you have, you know, the third baseman's playing in shallow right field to take away even the bloop.
Yeah, it almost looks like you have an extra outfielder. There's plenty of room up the middle. But my goodness. From the second base position over. Tight. And Belt takes the walk.
Time for our Nissan keys of the game. Set the table is the first one, and that's getting the early part of the batting order, which we did. We saw Panic strike out, but Belt's on the base, first base. We need to get early part of the order on so we can get the big boys up to drive them in. They haven't had a lot of chances at that lately. And then a quality start from Moore is our second key, because we need a good quality start from him. He has the arm to do it. The pitching staff needs to see it. The bullpen needs the break. And we got a lot of games left for the next off day, so he needs to go deep into the game.
Here's Pence, who takes Hine away. Buster Posey to follow. Pence at 254. He's got 4 hits and 11 at bats lifetime against DeGrom. And the pitch is outside. So it's 2-0. So we're watching DeGrom now out of the stretch for the first time. Giants come in 11-21. The Mets are 14-16. They've played poorly at home. They're 6-11 at home. And there's one right down the pipe. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls and a strike. Outside and low, 3-1.
Belt's got an interesting shuffle going on.
I don't know. He's
second base.
He's got it going over there. There's Buster Posey.
Thinking maybe a little extra Red Bull.
Yep.
In New York.
I'm thinking maybe.
He's feeling good.
Maybe lots of extra Red Bull in that clubhouse.
Oh, Froggy. Froggy over there.
3-1. Here it is. And Pence got a piece, but into the glove of Rivera. So now it's 3-2. So you know what Hunter Pence is thinking. Look, his best pitch is his fastball. It's 3-2. That's the only thing that you can sit on right now. Belt goes, swinging a high fly ball right center field. Lagares back at the wall. He leaps, and it is out of here.
He got both cheeks into that one. You heard a grunt, a swing, swung as hard as he could, hit the ball really high, went really far. They needed that tonight, right out the gate, scoring some runs, hitting homers.
Well,
no Buster hug though.
Sure looked like he got a fastball.
He got a fastball up and away. He tried to tie him up in. He got it right over the plate. Helmet coming off. That was power versus power right there. Pence won out on that one.
And Buster with a swing and a miss. You know, as this road trip is going, you just had the feeling Lagares was going to leap and take one away from him.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, so did Hunter. Hunter kind of started slowing. Yep. Like, you got to be kidding me.
And so it's interesting to see how close Lagares came to catching it.
Lagares looks like he had a beat on it. He looked like he was slowing up, like he wanted to catch it.
It may have been a little further over than we thought. Here's the 0-2 to Buster Posey. So DeGrom throws him that slider at 90. It's 1-2.
These boys came out hacking today. Giants were kind of a little bit too patient for me in Cincinnati. These guys came out swinging.
Once I saw Belt take that lead, there's a bouncing ball, and that's at Rivera. So Posey's retired. A walk and a big fly. Not a bad formula. And here's Christian Arroyo.
Hunter's he's talking to the bullpen catcher. He's so excited. Let me tell you something, kid. He threw that ball right up over the middle, and I pounded it.
Here's Arroyo. And the pitch is down low.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he had a lot of coffee today.
He started early. 1 ball and no strikes. So Arroyo not getting a look at DeGrom, and what he's going to have to do. You got to tune it up now a little bit. 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's say this. Rivera's got the good glove, man, because that thing is popping.
Yeah, he's making him feel good right there.
Either that or we have a really good sound mic right behind home plate. And that'll end the inning. So it looked like DeGrom was ticked off just a little bit. Here's Hunter Pence. He hits his 3rd of the year. It's a fastball high and away and gone. Bye-bye, baby. 2-0 Giants. Take a look at the Mets lineup, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For Terry Collins, his lineup is going to look like this. It'll be Michael Conforto to lead things off. There's 2 Riveras in the lineup. This is TJ. Jay Bruce, who torched the Giants last year when he was with the Reds, is hitting 3rd. Then it's Flores, Walker, and Reyes. Rene Rivera, the veteran catcher, is hitting 7th. Then Lagares, and then Jacob DeGrom.
Matty Moore on the mound for the Giants tonight. 7 homers allowed. I think he's looking to cut back on that. He's a little bit of a higher batting average off him than he'd like. But when you're pitching behind the count, it happens. So I think he's looking to kind of change that up. He's going to come at you with, it says 47% fastball, 25% cutter. He's going to kind of use both those depending on which side of the plate he wants to go to. And he's going to use I think he should be using his wipeout curveball a little bit more. He's using his changeup a lot, but look to see him to throw strikes. He's been working on it.
Conforto takes wide. He's off to a good start. He was off to a good start last year as well. And then things slowed down. He ended up back in the minor leagues. But again, off to a good start, hitting at 325. So it's up and in. So it's 2 balls and no strikes. Conforto has never faced Matt Moore. Only 3 of these Mets in the lineup have ever faced him. Nope. Stu Sherwater behind the plate. Then it's Reynolds, Knight, and Barrett from 1st to 3rd. Stu Sherwater. And he needs to call a strike here. And that's a 4-pitch walk.
Defense behind Matt tonight. Left field, left to right, be Nunez, Hernandez. Home run, Babe Ruth, Hunter Pence, Brandon Belt, the Giraffe, Joe Panic, second base, Christian Arroyo playing short, Gillespie playing 3rd, and calling balls and strikes tonight, catching scuds, Buster Posey.
Buster Posey. Here's TJ Rivera. Rivera's from here. He's a Bronx kid. So Buster said, I'm change things up, and we're going to throw a breaking ball, and that misses. It's 1-0.
sometimes when you come off an outing like Matt did, and he's really trying to throw strikes, he can almost try too hard instead of just relaxing and just letting it go and trusting your athleticism. You tend to push, you aim, you shove, and you're all over like he was the first at bat. And a guy like Buster's trying to get him back into the count. And sometimes that curveball, just kind of that, hey, look, let's change a release point here just to kind of lock you in. And his next pitch was a strike after that. But man, sometimes coming off those outings, this first outing back, you're feeling your way through the first inning, and you got to try to just let it go and have some fun out there and trust yourself.
1 ball and 1 strike. Rivera hitting .283. And then you're not going to get the close ones. Plus, it's tough for a starter, man. You got to think about it for 4 days.
It is, and that's where relieving can be good, because you got the next day to start over and just come out of it. But you also need the umpire's help. When you're missing strikes like that, it's not going to help you. Jay
Bruce is on deck. It's 2-1 to T.J. Rivera here in the first inning. And that pop-up's out of play. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mets are coming off of a weird game yesterday against the Marlins. They lost their starter, Matt Harvey. They suspended Harvey. And a kid come in from AAA, Wilk, and they got shut out 7-0. 3-2.
I always thought that umpires paid attention to what has happened, and it's almost like sometimes when you're struggling like this, the umpires are like, yeah, we got to make you earn it. If you guys were shoving for the last 8 to 10 games, I probably call those strikes, but right now I'm not buying it, which I don't like, but I used to swear by that.
Well, we'll see if Conforto goes. Moore's got to come in. It's 3-2. Got him. Through 93 at the knees, 1 out. So maybe his best fastball, velocity-wise, and it comes on a 3-2 pitch. Maybe a confidence builder for Jay Bruce.
Here's a pitch, as you saw, first pitch curveball from Buster. He almost had to block it, but in the strike zone, it looked like it would have been called a strike, but Buster looked like he went in to kind of almost block that ball, but then he kind of came at him. I thought he got a missed call, and at the end,
all those pitches were pretty close. So here's Bruce. Overshift on for Bruce, and he hooks it foul. The thing about Jay Bruce is if you catch him when he's cold, that's a good thing. You catch him when he's hot, and you better be careful.
Yeah, he's hot. You throw the rosin bag up there, and he'll hit a homer with it.
And he torched the Giants at AT&T Park last year in a 4-game series. I think he hit a home run almost in every game. There's a good pitch. I'll tell you where they caught him when he was cold, though, in that wild card game. He was really having a hard time at the plate. Of course, it helps when Bumgarner's on the mound.
Yeah. Bumgarner can make anybody cold.
Yeah.
There's some weird reflection off some windows. Buster's squinting. It seems like he's having a hard time seeing almost.
Wow. 1-2.
Maybe the umpire's having a hard time seeing too.
Well, if they're both squinting, you might have a story. It could be.
It's got to be coming off those windows. You can kind of see in the background the sun on the backstop there. I think Buster's kind of had to do this, kind of shade his eyes, looking in the boats too for some stuff.
There's another fastball out of play. On deck is Wilmer Flores. Remember, no Cespedes. David Wright, who knows when he's going to be back.
Cabrera too, right? Missing Cabrera.
Yeah, he just injured the last couple of days. And Buster is well practiced at that. It's 2-2.
That was a great scud curveball right there. I don't know. It just gets me super excited when I watch him do a hockey block, and he's trying not to laugh almost.
I half expected him to turn around, call time, and look up here. I did. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a line drive and a base hit. Time now for our Togo's big play, the Togo's way, the wild card game last year that we mentioned. Madison Bumgarner in that game. As we see Jay Bruce went 9 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and he threw 119 pitches. And he told Connor Gillespie when he came back in the dugout after hitting the home run, "Thanks, Connor, I needed that."
If I remember correctly, he almost hit a homer in the 8th, help himself out on top of it.
Yep.
That's instant Hall of Fame berth if that would have happened.
It is. Here's Flores. Flores fouls the first fastball out of play. Now here's the numbers for Madison Bumgarner in postseason. So he's had a couple of games in relief. 8-3. He's got a save. We all know about that one. And you know what? He might someday get a raise. You know that?
And those numbers are just, I mean, that's Nintendo game numbers right there. With a cheat code. It's the only way you can do that.
Yeah. Well, remember, 2010, he won his World Series game against the Rangers, and he from a legal standpoint, he couldn't have a drink.
He didn't either. Okay. We didn't let him.
That would be something that I wouldn't know about because you were in the clubhouse. As that pitch is in the dirt, it's 1-2.
I was the party police for him.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great game against the really Texas Rangers, really good lineup. Remember, Vladimir Guerrero was in that lineup. He struck him out 3 times.
And then his comment to us was like, I didn't really see anything different than a high school championship game. Really? It's no different than a high school championship game, bum? Great. Peeing my pants out there.
1-2
you know?
to Wilmer Flores. Driven down the left field line into the corner and foul.
Just a long strike.
Just kind of hooked it a little too much. Buster's going to go out and have a word. This guy caught it or he dropped it? I think he dropped it and they're hooting on him.
He's a Giants fan. You know he's wearing it out there.
Oh, gee, easy. Hey.
Oh.
Ooh. Looked like Jeremy walking out of the bar last night.
That's not true. That looked to me like walking on the sidewalk with my knee brace.
On the move. Hernandez still on the move. And he's going to make the catch. And Conforto, for whatever reason, didn't tag. And now there are 2 outs for Neil Walker. And we did not go into a bar last night, by the way. Actually,
honey, I promise you.
Could have been maybe walking down the off the plane.
Yeah.
No, I sat with you on the plane. There was no shenanigans. Walker hitting .207 with 2 home runs, 12 driven in. Conforto and Bruce aboard here in the first. Swing. Ain't gonna miss.
I was like, pretty sure that was a changeup. I don't think that was his cutter. That was a great arm speed changeup right there. And that's what you're going to get on some of these guys. They're going to be aggressive. Once you start proving you can throw strikes, now they're thinking, well, he walked a lot of guys last start. Now he's throwing strikes. He's just trying to keep it over the white part. Be aggressive. We got to score 2 runs. And you get hitters swinging when you can take the lead like we did, or like the Giants did earlier in the first inning. You can get these guys to swing at your pitches.
Well, Moore needs to get through this first inning, and then I think he'll be fine. Another 0-1 close pitch called a ball, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Two balls and a strike on the breaking ball. See, he's just kind of feeling for it. Looks right over that right shoulder into Buster Posey. At second, Conforto. At first is Bruce. Nope. 3-1. So after throwing that really nice changeup, Walker's taken 3 pitches out of the strike zone. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
I just don't think Matt's feeling real good with that consistent fastball release. He's searching for, trying to throw it over. Sometimes you're trying to, you almost want to just, you're trying to hope it gets there rather than just be athletic with it and throw. It's good when hitters give you a chance by doing that right there and swing at pitches they should, and that helps you out.
That may have been Cutter, where it just kind of rode in on his hands.
And that's what a cutter will do for him, and especially if he's not feeling good command. If Buster's trying to call fastballs in and he's yanking it in, sometimes you just go to that cutter knowing, well, I don't have to yank a cutter in. I just have to spin it up there and let it kind of cut in on their hands. And you might have to go to that to righties for a while until you find that fastball comfortability.
So 3-2, runners will be on the move. Driven into the gap, and Hunter Pence is not going to get there. This is going to tie the game, and Walker comes up with a ground rule double. It's not going to tie the game. The Giants catch a big break.
Huge break right there in that situation. You don't want to have a tie ball game if you can afford it. You don't want it set back at 0, and when you can get a bounce like that, take it.
That's a break. That is a huge break.
Fastball was supposed to be away, came right back. You see Buster kind of coming back to the plate, but really it was away. It just didn't get, it wasn't down enough. But when you're 3-2 and you have to throw a ball out over the plate, guys lean out. You know you're not getting a fastball in because he's missing in. He's looking away. He got a ball away and he drove it.
Here's Reyes. Reyes takes a strike. He's hitting 193. He's got 3 home runs. He's got 11 driven in. But you figure he's going to put the ball in play and he can run a little bit. So if you're on defense, you've got to speed things up. Blocked by Buster. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So the next pitch for Matt Moore will be 30.
It's a lot of pitches. It's a lot of pitches for your first inning. You can usually pitch out of that if you find rhythm, but if you don't find rhythm, you're going to see a bullpen get going early. And Bochy, if you have a lead, I don't think he's going to let the Giants lose that lead. And you're going to go see him go to a bullpen really early if you have a lead here. You're going to see Rags run out there here in a minute. That's what I'm feeling.
Yep.
Kind of calm him down.
See, 15 balls and 15 strikes. He's made some good pitches. But on the other hand, he's behind in the count here to Jose Reyes. There's a good breaking ball, 2-2. Reyes at short with Asdrubal Cabrera going down. You see the defense set up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul back. He jumped on that fastball.
Some of these close-ups we're seeing of Matt on the TV screen, you can almost see he's kind of breathing heavy. He's taking deep breaths. Just tells you that he's just not comfortable. He's almost, you know, trying to breathe through some stuff there and just try to figure it out. His head's probably running a little bit. If he can get through this inning with a 2-1 lead, you're going to see that stuff start to calm down, hopefully, and he'll just become his normal self.
Reyes stays alive with a pop-up off the backstop. On deck is Rene Rivera. That's the Rivera that's a catcher. TJ Rivera struck out for the first out of this inning. Two balls and 2 strikes.
foul
down the right field line.
He threw a fastball up about 2 pitches ago that he fouled off, which he tried to double up with it, but if I'm Buster or I'm Matt, I'm looking maybe to try to get on page with the curveball here to see if he'll swing over it. It's been a good pitch from this inning when he's thrown it.
And
there it was.
Threw it and he just got a piece. Here's what Jeremy's talking about.
Curveball right here, just got a piece. That was actually a great back foot breaking ball. For him to even get a piece of that, you almost have to tip your hat to him. And I'm thinking that you got to throw it again to prove that you can foul it off again. 9th pitch of the bat coming up here. You got to try to finish him off.
That'll do it to Hernandez, who broke back. Now he comes in, and that's going to end the inning. So Matt Moore throws a ton of pitches. He walks off the mound with a lead, and for me, that's a win.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
It's a 2-1 lead for the Giants. And the hitter for the Giants will be Eduardo Nunez. We've got many Giants fans here in attendance. That group down the left field line. There's always been a group that comes out from Finnerty's, the great San Francisco bar here in New York City, and it may be them. I'm just going to say it is them. 1 ball and no strikes. Two balls and no strikes, and it really isn't just the Giants. I mean, Finnerty's, if you follow them on social media, it's Warriors, Niners, Stanford, Cal. Nunez just gets underneath this one as he pops it into shallow left field, and coming in and calling off Reyes is Conforto. Take a look at our Jeep drive of the game. It happened last year. Very well could be the biggest hit of the year, and this broke a 0-0 tie. And I don't think there is ever a point in time when Connor Gillespie would be booed in a road uniform, and he's being booed here in New York. How about that? Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
I think that's the loudest I've ever heard him say anything, whether it be a scream, a word, excitement.
He had like 8 years of professional baseball built up into one roar. And it came out.
Exciting playoffs. Playoffs are so exciting, man. What an electric time.
Well, especially those one and done games. Although I will tell you that 2012 the Giants had 6 one and done games and they won them all.
That was high stress year. I think Buster's gray hair, because he does have gray hair, by the way. Oh yeah, it's good too. I mean, it's really good. I told him, I saw him in the lobby today, and I'm like, man, in 2 years, man, that's gonna be nice. It's gonna be straight salt and pepper in there. But I bet most of those came from 2012, 2014. You know.
This is off the end of the bat, and it's going to be tracked down by Lagares.
Well, Giants fans, check out the dynamic deals for the month of May, including 2 games for the Dodgers, Nationals, and the Reds. Ooh, the dynamic deals, prices starting as low as $9. That's right, tickets as low as $9. Visit sfgiants.com/dynamic deal to purchase tickets for the upcoming Red Series and to see future dynamic deal games.
Yeah, I'm not saying oof with the Reds. I'm saying the Reds have no idea what they're getting into when they come into town. Giants will be plenty mad by then.
Yeah.
Troy, he ain't gonna miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. So, did he deny the gray hair?
Right there, right there. Look, oof. Ooh, there it is. It's all right. He's turned 30. He didn't really deny it. He kind of stares at me a long time when I ask who gave him all those. I say these kids. That's right, you have kids. And he just looks at me and goes, my kids did not give me these. There's one person that gave me these. And I just move on. I don't try to stay on the topic too long. And, you know, 2014, the 1-game playoff game, I think, causes a lot of issues. But
I'm not getting any close pitches either. It's 3-1. Matt Moore to follow. If you just joined us, Hunter Pence in the first inning hit an opposite field home run. And the walk, and that'll allow Moore to hit here in the second, which can be significant. So Matt Moore on the season is 1 for 9. Has a nice little soft hello to Rene Rivera.
oh, they were teammates, weren't they?
I think they
Tampa?
were, yeah. Hernandez has got a steal, but it's not likely he's going to try to go with the pitcher at the plate. I'd like to have the top of the order lead things off in the 3rd.
Just watching this at bat, I'm thinking Matt might need to get his foot down a little quicker. I think his foot's still in the air when it hits the glove. He might be a hair behind.
He may be late.
Bad hack?
Yeah, that's going to be out of play. I think he got it down just in time that time. It's 1-2.
Here it comes up. Oh, he did get it down
Yeah,
just
he threw
in
it
time
down
right
a little
there.
quicker, didn't he?
Is that a slider? It had some slider spin to it. I probably would, if Bam Bam, I'd probably say, hey, with this guy, don't pick your foot up. Just swing right about now, and you should be all right. These big guys like this, it's the same for all the velocity high big. You saw it with Randy Johnson early in his career. A lot of times you saw him at Seattle. It'd almost be like he's so big and he's got so much power that if the timing's not right and the levers aren't all clicking, you throw all over the place.
That'll end the inning as Matt Moore strikes out. 3 strikeouts for DeGrom. For the Mets, it'll be Rivera, Lagares, and DeGrom coming up.
Sports Bay area is brought to you by Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking. We pay you.
Here at Citi Field, the Giants with a 2-1 lead as we head to the home half of the second inning, and it'll be the bottom three in this Mets lineup. I think for Matt Moore, it's not so much where he's at in the lineup as can he get a feel for what he's trying to do. And you noticed something in between innings that Buster was doing.
Yeah, he was just in between innings. You saw that, you know, Matt threw a couple fastballs, and all of a sudden Buster showed him where his hand was at on the ball in relation to where it should be. And he just sees that, and it's a reminder to get back on top of the ball. It's going to allow you to have a little bit more of a true fastball command, and you're going to get through the ball better. Catchers see it. I mean, we don't see that when we're throwing. You know, pitchers don't see all that.
He's going to call for another breaking ball. Maybe a cutter. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
You'll see right here in between pitches, he's throwing it, and then he'll say coming down. That time he said coming down, but it was before that. Before that curveball, he kind of showed to get on top of the ball there a little bit, but.
You know, there's always an argument that your best hitter has other things to worry about, and that would be Buster Posey.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't sit out in right field and think about anything other than what he's trying to do, and that's get Matt Moore through this inning. This is lined out to Hernandez, who will make the catch.
Here it is again. Let's see if we can catch it. Yeah, you see how he's telling him. See that? You're getting on the side of the ball. You got to get your. He's showing him this is where your hand's at. I don't want your hand right here. They probably talked about it in between innings, and he's trying to, like you said, Kip, he's trying to lock him in. He can't sit there and work on his swing. He can't, you know, like a lot of guys do, and they working on their stance out there. He doesn't have time for that.
He's got massive responsibilities. Here's Lagares. Lagares has won a Gold Glove in center field. He doesn't agree with Mr. Sherwater, but really hasn't played a whole lot since he won the Gold Glove. It's jammed, and it's 0-2. Pitcher DeGrom is on deck. Giants are leading 2-1. Look out.
That's really just a product of not feeling good with your fastball. He's trying to go in again and going way in right there. But in what we've seen the last few days in Cincinnati, sometimes moving guys and letting guys know that I don't really have much going on, don't get too comfortable, can be a good thing. Not hitting a guy necessarily, but moving a guy, or maybe you're going to hit a guy from time to time, and being effectively wild can actually help a lot of times.
Well, now you put it in a spot where DeGrom can lay down a bunt, so the Giants will try to defend the bunt. DeGrom on the year is 3 for 14. And he lays down a really nice bunt. And that'll be out number 2. So he does it on the first pitch, which is always good for the pace of the game. And that'll bring up Michael Conforto, who drew a walk to open up the bottom of the first. So here's Conforto. And the pitch is low and in. 1 ball and no strikes. At second base, Lagares with good speed. And this is tap foul. That may have got Buster. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. We're at Citi Field. This is game 7 on this road trip. Giants are 2-4 on the trip, and they're hoping to take this series if they can. And it's always a good idea, if you're going to take the series, win the first game. And it sets the stage for what you can do in the rest of the series. Swing! Gonna miss 1-2. That's a really good pitch down and in.
He's looking a little more comfortable this at bat.
Yeah.
Fastball buster wants in, and he gets on top of the ball nice, gets that good downhill plane, swings right over the top of it.
When you look at his follow through, it really is kind of effortless.
Yeah, he's got great stuff. I mean,
Out of play.
pitching's all the same as hitting. It's all about timing, and sometimes it could be maybe you don't break your hands early enough. He has a long arm delivery, so he has to get that arm up on top of the ball and through the glove. And big, tall, lanky lefties, they tend to have problems from time to time with their command.
Rhythm. 1-2. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Got him, and that'll end the inning as Arroyo snuck in behind Lagares, and Matt Moore ignored him. 2-1. Top of the order coming up. In 1930 at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, Freddie Lindstrom, future Hall of Famer, hit for the cycle against the Pirates. He had a single in the first, triple in the fourth, and then he had an inside the park home run in the sixth, a double and a single in the seventh and 10th. Giants won that ball game 13-10 in 10 innings. Lindstrom went 5 for 6 with 3 RBIs and 3 runs scored. Way to go, Freddie Lindstrom. Here's Panic to lead things off. It's 2-1 Giants. Panic was the first hitter that DeGrom faced, and he struck him out with a couple of good fastballs. And what does he see here? He does not see a fastball. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Panic pops this one back and out of play. I think Joe's finding out that when you come back home after you get married, not only do you have to deal with your side of the family for tickets, you have to deal with the other side of the family for tickets. And Joe strikes out for the second time. 4 strikeouts for DeGrom.
Yeah, a lot of times I just gave my wife my cell phone when we went into like Seattle or something close. Yeah. don't want anything to do with all that. There's too many people asking for stuff. Just you handle it. I got to go to the ballpark.
Make her the bad guy.
Yeah.
Belt drew a walk in the first. First pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Hunter Pence to follow. Big overshift on for Belt as always. If he had any confidence at all in laying down a bunt, it's there for him. That doesn't mean he may be thinking, well, I'd rather try to hit a home run. 1-2.
Just with the shift that he's got, I mean, you could push bunt it. You can get a double out of that.
Almost. Here's the 1-2 delivery. And Belt takes high. 97 from DeGrom. That's an easy motion, too.
And you can't teach that velocity. That's just in his arm.
Yep.
You know, it's just.
Got him. It's 5 strikeouts. And here's Pence. After Pence hit one over the right center field wall. And if you missed it, this is what it looked like. Pitch was out over the plate.
Both cheeks into that one.
Both cheeks. Oh, there's a healthy rip again from Pence, and it's 0-1.
Cincinnati, it didn't seem like he was seeing the ball well. He's seeing these pretty good.
Yep. Swing. Ain't gonna miss. And that'll end the inning. So DeGrom strikes out the side, and he strikes out 3 pretty good hitters. He remains 2-1. Is airing right now on NBC Sports Bay Area Plus, which can be found on the channels listed on your screen. Now, if you can't find NBC Sports Bay Area Plus, log on to NBCSportsBayArea.com, or you can call your TV provider and they'll help you out. So there you go. And good luck to the Warriors tonight as they try to wrap it up against the Utah Jazz. It'll be Rivera, Bruce, and Flores with the Giant. This guy's got lipstick on his cheek. What's up with that? Come on. Here's Rivera. I lost my
Yeah, I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but the girl next to him has the same exact color lipstick that's on his cheek.
Yeah. At least
no, she's talking to him. It's good. We're good.
At least he's, yeah. Okay. 1 ball and no strikes. Rivera struck out in the first inning. Tap foul off his foot with Jay Bruce on deck.
She's not even telling him either.
No, I would want my wife to tell me. I'll bet if she didn't do it, she'd say something. That would be an investigation right here at the park. So it'll be pitch number 52 for Matt Moore. In tight, 2 balls and a strike. You see TJ Rivera talking to himself. Rivera played second base in that wild card game last year. It's 3-1.
Still see he's fighting for that command. His release point just a hair off. He's not that far off, but it's enough to where the 93 seems to die when it gets up there rather than throw through the glove. He's throwing to home plate, and those are 2 different things when it comes to pitching with command.
Well, comes in with a strike at 94, so he didn't back off. It's 3-2. And the pitch. Foul. He hooked it foul. Heads up. That's one where you have to be paying attention. Outfield straight away for TJ Rivera. Got him. Got him again. 94'd him. We got a little change in the rotation tonight. Dave Fleming is on assignment. John Miller will be in with Jeremy in innings 4, 5, and 6. I'll head over to the KMBR side and be back in the 7th. Here's Jay Bruce, the pitch. And a breaking ball down low.
See, John did his hair for the show.
Yep.
He's a Hall of Famer. He can wear a hat.
Put the hat on, didn't he? Bruce gets another breaking ball, and this one is a called strike. Every time we do this switch over, it's like getaway day where you kind of have to pack up your stuff and move on.
I haven't graduated there yet. I don't have to go anywhere.
I know you haven't. So, my goodness. Your ring in the pocket, binoculars.
Your World Series ring goes in your pocket.
It's going in the pocket. iPad off. The pitch to Bruce. Swinging a fly ball to left. Nunez back. And in front of the wall, he makes the catch.
You can now stream the Giants on the go on NBCSportsBayArea.com and the NBC Sports app, presented by Honda. Tell you what, I mean, I don't know if Bruce is hot every time we face him. I know the playoffs he wasn't, but it seems like no matter what he does, he hits the ball hard into the warning track somewhere.
Hit that ball hard. Wilmer Flores is his walk-up music is the theme from Friends. I don't think I've ever heard that before. Way to go, Wilmer. Way to shake things up a little bit. Line drive, left field. Nunez over, and he dives and it gets by him. Flores is going to end up at second base with a double.
Pretty good pitch, actually. Looked like a good little breaking ball that kind of came right back down into his swing. He kind of, it was a good breaking ball for a strike. It wasn't probably the best breaking ball to throw when it comes to a right-hander, but he just kind of turned and burned on it. Nunez kind of got caught in between whether he should block it, dive to catch it, and it didn't work out. It got under his glove. Kind of a product of not being the everyday left fielder.
That's
probably.
Exactly right. So here's Walker. Walker doubled in the first inning. And he takes a strike. Mets have had a runner in scoring position in every inning. Matt Moore's been able to get out of it in the second, trying to do the same here in the third.
Well, he's got 63 pitches. This is definitely the biggest out of the game so far. Trying to get through 5 or 6.
Takes a look to second and throws, and there's a foul back. As Walker got a pitch out over the plate, it's now 0-2. Walker, all those years with the Pirates, has found a home here in New York. And the 0-2 pitch, swinging a bouncing ball up the middle. Arroyo cuts it off, takes a crow hop and a throw, and that's going to end the inning. So Matt Moore does pitch through the double. John Miller will be in. I'll see you back here in the 7th. Giants lead 2-1.
At AT&T Ballpark, happy hour, Friday, May 12th. Get your happy hour package. It's going to include a pregame barbecue in Triples Alley, featuring one of my favorites, Lagunitas, and it's a beverage from them. Live music, the opportunity to watch BP from the field, and a lower box seat to see the Giants-Reds game. Visit sfgiants.com/happy hour for your tickets.
And I'm John Miller with you now, along with Jeremy Affeld, as we go to the 4th inning. 2-1, the Giants leading the Mets. Buster Posey taking ball 1. The Giants jumped out early. The home run by Hunter Pence in the first inning, giving them a 2-0 lead. The Mets got 1 in the last of the first. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike now to Buster, who grounded out to first his first time. Buster facing DeGrom, against whom he's only had one hit in 9 career at bats. That is a fair ball. That's his second hit against him. Cut off by Bruce. Got a strong arm. It's cut off, though, by the second baseman Walker. A double for Buster Posey.
I think we might have caught a break on getting that ball cut off right there, John.
I was feeling a little uncomfortable about it.
Here's the pitch here. He just kind of talked about the umpire right before this, asking where the pitch was at. Same pitch. Buster made the adjustment. It looked like it was more of a slider on the outside corner. Tried to cut it away, and it stayed right there for him. Hit it right down the line for a much-needed double, putting a runner in scoring position. No outs. Exciting times right now.
Only the second hit of the game for the Giants. Here's Arroyo, and that's ball 1. Arroyo struck out his first time. And in fact, DeGrom has 6 strikeouts through the first 3 innings of this game. Pretty good rip at that one, but a foul straight back.
The thing that's impressed me about Arroyo since he's come up is when he decides to swing the bat, he is not in between swings. He lets that bat head fly. And I think it's impressed the coaching staff, front office, players in general. I think that they've been impressed by him and the play that he's provided defensively and with the bat.
Runner at second, nobody out. And that high fastball fouled back to the screen. 1-2. Game 2 of the series tomorrow. Again, a 4:10 Pacific time start with Jeff Samardzija up against Zach Wheeler. And then 10:10 Wednesday morning, Matt Cain versus Rafael Montero. Off the outside. 2-2. This ballpark, when it first opened, this was a real tough home run ballpark. And some of the Mets' top power hitters were suffering here. They brought in the fences a couple of times over the years since it first opened.
Yeah, the bullpens out in where the Giants sit, the window that they look out of was actually the fence. Like you looked right onto the field, and so it's like 20 feet in further than what it was. I mean, you see all that grass right there in front of the window. Yeah, you had to hit a ball a long way to get it out of here.
So Pence's home run in the first inning probably would have been caught in the original configuration by a guy like Lagares, who has a lot of range. Time taken now, and Rene Rivera, the catcher, out to speak to DeGrom. Meanwhile, we're getting a report on Brandon Crawford, who played the 6 innings which they expected him to play for the Giants AA affiliate in Richmond. They played Altoona. He had a double his first time up and went 1 for 3 in the game. He may be here tomorrow.
I'd be okay with that.
They miss him.
Yeah.
Especially against these right-handed pitchers like Jacob DeGrom. They'll place another right-hander tomorrow, Zach Wheeler. 3-2 to Arroyo with Posey at second, nobody out. And he changed up and struck him out.
It's a good pitch by DeGrom there. Kind of came at him with a lot of heat, kind of in and out, kind of stayed away from him, up in the zone, down in the zone, and threw a breaking ball away. But the last pitch right there, it almost was complete opposite of what he had shown him in the last couple of bats, and it was a changeup, which he doesn't throw that often. But he threw a good one there, and Arroyo really didn't have a chance at it with all the velocity that was being thrown at him in that at bat.
So Posey still at second. Here's Nunez. And the little slider or cutter just off the outside. Ball 1. Buster chucked one in right past the first base bag down the right field line for a base hit and a double to lead off the inning. DeGrom really wanted to strike out Arroyo, and he did. 2-0. Nunez hit a Fly ball to shallow left his first time. Connor Gillespie is on deck. 2-1 Giants here in the 4th inning. Nunez has had some success in the past against DeGrom. 3 for 4 is one of those 3 hits, a triple. So you hadn't seen a whole lot of him. Broken bat. And he's thrown out by Walker. Posey goes to third. So 2 down here is Connor Gillespie. Back in the ballpark tonight for the first time since the really the great moment of his major league career. A moment I don't know that he saw it coming. He described rounding the bases after his 9th inning 3-run homer that broke a 0-0 tie in a winner-take-all game, a huge game. And he said going around the bases was kind of a surreal experience. It's kind of an out-of-body experience. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, said Lance Barrett, the third base umpire. 0-1.
Well, we were talking about it earlier, and the amount of yell. I mean, just the roar that was coming out of him throughout around the entire base paths. When a guy as quiet as he is, he doesn't even say anything to you. And when he does say something, you really can't hear what he says. So to see the kind of roar and the scream, Kuiper said it right. It was like 8 years of pent-up energy and, you know, competitive anger that just came out right there. It was pretty awesome to see.
A ball and a strike. Gillespie flied out to shallow center his first time. Base hit could mean a run here with Posey at third. Almost would have to mean a run if he can get a hit. You got the right-handed hitting Gorkys Hernandez on deck in the dirt, and that's something to consider here. The worst-case scenario for DeGrom does not include walking Gillespie with the right-handed hitter up next.
You have 2 bags open, but you do tend to see that as a pitcher. You know, as you get further into the game and you get further into your career, you start to actually pay attention to who is actually up next. Thinking, I don't have to give in to this guy. If I want to start over at 0-0, I'll go to the next guy. Sometimes walks are strategic.
Back to the screen, foul. 2-2.
I don't necessarily think that DeGrom is that kind of guy yet. He likes to rear back and let it fly, and he's kind of in that situation where he probably thinks his stuff is better than any hitter up there. But you will start to see in certain situations, even catchers might kind of go talk, hey, we don't have to give in to this guy. Don't throw one over the middle. Like, we can go with the next guy and just getting out.
Well, surely, especially now he's got 2 strikes on him, he wants to put him away.
Yeah, you got to go after him right
here. Ooh, that was a close one. 3-2 the count.
That might be a gift right there. Right on that inside corner. Pretty tough pitch to hit, but a pitcher's pitch. And I think any pitcher in baseball is going to want that pitch right there. That was well executed. Gave us life, though. You never know.
3-2 the count. Posey at third, 2 down. Down the left field line, foul. This was October the 5th, 9th inning, 0-0 game, 2 men on last October with plenty to spare.
There's the roar, and it didn't stop either. He was doing it around first, second, screaming, still coming around third. He might have broke Crawford's arm almost, giving him a high five. Still screaming.
And that's a walk. So he ends up coaxing the walk out of DeGrom and also helping build DeGrom's pitch count up still more, which has some value. Could get him out of this game an inning or so earlier than otherwise. And now Dan Warthen, the pitching coach for the Mets, will go out to the mound to speak with DeGrom. You've got Gorkys Hernandez, a right-handed hitter, at the plate, who is hitting only 197, and the pitcher up behind him, and a base empty.
Yeah, and that was a product that you were talking about earlier. There was a 3-2 pitch right there. It was kind of a slider away, and he threw it for a ball, and it was like he was going for it, and if you walked him, he walked him. He was actually still a little bit upset when I know when the pitch case came running out. DeGrom kind of kicked the dirt a little bit in frustration, and I think he was still thinking about the pitch that he got, that he threw to Gillespie on the inside corner. He felt he should have, and he talked to the catcher when he came out there. But that was that situation, 3-2, where I'm not going to give in, and I'm going to throw my pitch and see if he'll swing at it.
Gorky Hernandez walked his first time, and he lays off that high riding fastball. He's had a few strikeouts on that pitch tonight, and this year and last year.
He's the best at throwing chocolate mousse, I think, in baseball. He rides that ball up. Looks so good, but so bad for you, John.
Yeah, so I'd be swinging at it. 2-0 the count to Gorky Hernandez. Now Gorky's hitting 197. Ideally, with the pitcher up next, you'd like to see him, if you're the Giants, expand his strike zone a little bit and try to be the RBI man. Got one out over the plate there, but fouled it back, and it's 2-1. But if you're hitting 197, you might also feel like, hey, Walker's not the end of the world. That's not too bad for me.
You're trying to be productive, keep the line moving. But you are, this is a situation, you're a professional hitter, this is a situation you want to be in. He had a couple of these situations in Cincinnati, and it didn't work out. So I'm sure he's itching to try to put some bat head on a ball and let it be a fair call.
2-2. That's a pretty tough pitch to hit for anybody right there.
That was, with that kind of velocity, you have to let a ball away travel so long to hit it that you have to time it perfect. And with that kind of velocity, if you're not perfect, you're right. Just like that ball was by him right as he swung, and he had no chance. I think he's hoping to get one over the white part of the plate here.
2-2. Well, it was over the plate. Bruce into the corner. And he did not get it. He almost got it. He's pretty good out there, Jay Bruce.
I think that wall kind of got to him. He kind of felt the dirt. He knows how many steps he has, and he knew he's close to that wall and kind of squinted, closed his eyes, stuck his glove out, hoped it went into it, and didn't.
I mean, you got to be careful because you could really get injured. You go in real hard in that corner, even with the padding.
And these guys on the team, they know how many guys have been getting hurt. They don't need to get hurt on these situations. They're hurting already.
2-2 the count to Gorky Hernandez. 2 on, 2 out. There goes Gillespie. Strike 3. 8 strikeouts for DeGrom in 4 innings, but also 80 pitches thrown.
The authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
Back in New York, the Giants leading here game 1 of the series, 2-1. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Giants. 1 run, 3 hits for the Mets. Giants fans are here. The Giants fans' New York home is the Affinity's New York City Tavern down at 22nd Street, and they, as usual, when the Giants come to town, they put together bus trips over here that include the tickets. So we know there'll be Giants fans here with the Affinity's group. Usually the Mets stick them way out there in left center field somewhere. Here is Jose Reyes, and the off-speed delivery for a called strike. There's Kipe.
There's Kruk. Got them both out there. Kruk's fish-eyeing me. It makes me nervous.
1 strike to count. Right to third. Connor Gillespie. That ball got there in a hurry. He was in on the grass because of the speed of Reyes. And Reyes just hit a laser beam right at him.
That's why they call it the hot corner.
That was uncomfortably hot if you're Connor Gillespie. It was uncomfortable just to watch it.
Came right back over the middle, and it dropped him to his knees right there. That was the one where he was actually ducking and throwing his hands up in the air, and the ball, I think, just landed in his glove, John.
Yeah. And I don't know if he was screaming again there. I would have been.
Might have been a little higher pitched.
Rene Rivera with the pop-up. Brandon Belt. And that's a quick out. And Matt Moore could use a few quick outs here. He threw a lot of pitches in the first inning alone. 36 pitches in the first inning. He did well to limit the Mets to just the 1 run in that inning, because that could have gotten out of control in a hurry. And he's been really much stronger and much more consistent since then. Here's Lagares.
Well, this inning, it seems like he's actually, everything he's fired up there has been kind of through the glove. Buster's not having to kind of go down and catch a fastball as it's dying coming into home plate. It's actually through his glove where he's just receiving the ball, which tells me his release point's starting to lock in. He's starting to get full extension on his pitches. And when he can do that, you're going to have later movement. You're going to have quicker outs.
That's called a strike, even though Buster.
They even hurt Buster's thumb.
It's 0-2. That a little cutter?
Little bit, but I think it's just late, and it's late movement, and it has and he throws a heavy ball too. So when he's getting through that pitch right there, you'll see, yep, that was a little cutter that just spun back and didn't quite spin as much as Buster wanted to, and it kind of caught him funny on the thumb.
Well, this one strikes him out, and that is the quickest, quietest inning of the night for Moore. On to the 5th.
Things for the first 20,000 fans on May 13th. If you you come to the ballpark, you'll receive a collectible tin box presented by Chevron Extra Mile. It's the perfect tin for baseball cards, Giants keepsakes, or even your lunch. Just join us at the ballpark as the Giants take on the Reds. You can do that by visiting sfgiants.com for tickets.
And here's Matt Moore, who is likely to be the starting pitcher that day for the Giants. Half swing, it goes by DeGrom. Reyes, and Moore is retired. Now, if Moore had some speed, if he was an actual hitter, if he wasn't a pitcher, might have had a chance to beat that out.
I beat that out.
Well, John, of course you would have. At blazing speed. But you wouldn't have had to. You would have just hit a shot right into the outfield, wouldn't you?
I would have had more of a committed swing than that, but yeah.
What was your batting average, lifetime batting average again?
Fleming had to remind me of that. I was like 167 or something. But the 3 hits I did have were just full on hacks and just rockets.
3 for what, 18?
Yeah, 17 or something. I had some walks though, which I'm very proud of.
So you got a little on-base percentage thing going there.
Yeah. Fleming didn't bring that up. Should have.
That ball is ripped down the right field line by Joe Panik. Foul. Joe, born just up the river a ways from New York City. Yonkers, went to John Jay High School in Hopewell Junction, New York. Went to college in New York City, St. John's. And that's back out of play in that high fastball. 1-2 the count to him. The thing is, he's from this area. When you think of St. John's, he's a New York guy. The place where he grew up was just some little small town in the middle of nowhere. I guess not in the middle of nowhere. It was a couple hours drive from New York City. The population, is that right? Oh, not even 1,000?
No, 376, he said. And the truck told us 370. In fact, he basically, his whole town showed up on the left field, like section 123 or whatever it is.
The first time we came in here, as he signals to right field, whenever he'd do something great, the town of Hopewell Junction, they had these little signs they'd hold up saying, "Panic attack."
Anyway, he was telling me today, I think he might have bought a house out near there, because he said he was staying today. He says where he's at, there's some rolling hills, and it's just nice to wake up and hear the birds chirping, and he's sleep in his own bed. And so he said he had a good night rest, sleeping in his own bed.
He's got married to his high school sweetheart, Brittany, in the offseason. Life is good for Joe Panik. He's back to the bag. And he got a hit here against DeGrom, who had struck him out twice in a row.
He rakes here. He's hitting like 370 or something here. He loves hitting at home.
I remember 2 years ago, his first trip in as a Giant, back to New York. He had home runs, doubles. They couldn't get him out. Brandon Belt showing bunt, and he took a strike. They're giving him a bunt hit here. There's nobody anywhere close to third.
I kind of got out of my seat with excitement right there. He pulled the bat back, but if he would have put a bunt down, I might have ran down there and gave him a high five at first base.
I mean, don't you want a low pitch though? To bunt, isn't that a good pitch to bunt? You want to get it on the ground. Well, he bunts it foul. He did that earlier on this road trip. I think at Dodger Stadium, he bunted and went foul.
Thinking Reyes, he's not even balking at it. It's a good technique. Brings that back foot around. There's where he made a little bit of the problem. Like, I mean, Flannery might have to be flown in for them to see the bunt doctor, because you just don't want to stab at it. You want to receive it. I think Flannery's on his way. He's heading to the airport right now.
So the angle of that bat would tell you, well, that ball is going to go foul.
Yeah, and he pushed at it. You know, he didn't let the ball hit the bat. And Reyes, he actually didn't even try to move. He's basically saying that ain't happening. He doesn't trust for that to be done, but he needs, if he could get that down, man, that would be awesome.
2-2.
You'll see right here, he gets the back foot around just like Flan teaches, and instead of receiving it, he shoves his bat at the ball. that might be early work tomorrow.
Well, that's a few hits for him every year if he could learn how to do it. And he is down on strikes, foul tipped it.
And that also might be why he wanted to bunt. He's not feeling like he's seeing the ball all that well right now. He struck out his last at bat. He walked on that bat before. He kind of had a good at bat right there, and he ended up walking. But he struck out the at bat before, and he's like, man, I'm just not seeing it that well. I'm going to try to bunt it here, see if I can get a bunt down to be productive or even get a knock out of it. And hey, you got to do what you got to do right now. The Giants are scrapping. They're trying to get some runs.
And he's one of the key men in that lineup. Here's Hunter Pence. Called strike. Hunter hit a 2-run homer to right center in the first inning to put the Giants ahead, and that has been all of the Giants' runs in this game up till now. We're in the 5th inning. Pitch number 92 for the evening coming up here from Jacob deGrom. One ball, one strike with Buster Posey on deck. And to look over at Phil Nevin, the third base coach. Nevin, a very potent power hitter himself in his playing days. That's foul off the right field side. And it's 1-2 now to Hunter Pence. I feel like Nevin, the signal he gave Hunter was, yeah, just hit the long ball again. Give the long ball signal.
I was hanging out with him a little bit after the game at the hotel. We were having a couple of Sprites down in the lobby.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, hey, I said, how'd you used to hit? I faced you a couple times. He said, Jeremy, I just tried to swing as hard as I could, hit the ball as farther as I could. That's how I swung. I kind of had an idea what they were trying to throw me. I did a little bit of some homework. I kind of watched some film and kind of got some scouting report. When he played, it was VHS. You know, like he was watching some VHS film. But
this is Nevin you're talking about.
Yeah, Phil Nevin, you know. And
you could have been talking about Pence, though, when you described his approach.
That's a good point. It's a good point. So we don't have Sprites. If you're hanging out with Hunter, you're probably having a gallon of coffee. But you know, with Phil, he just told me, hey, I saw it and I committed and I swung really hard, and that was my approach. And he hit a lot of long balls in his day.
Hunter Pence has hit one tonight, and that approach is pretty similar to his approach, I think. 2-2 the count.
I think Nevin's eyeballs stayed in his head though when the pitch came. You know,
he looked a lot calmer when he was up there. I mean, Hunter is a bundle of energy.
He's an energizer battery, man. That guy.
Panic at first. And he struck him out with a changeup. 10 strikeouts for deGrom. Although 95 pitches now in only 5 innings. York, California Ford dealers yesterday in Cincinnati. Gorkys Hernandez made this diving catch. Whoa, what a play in right center field with a third out in the last of the 6th inning. That is a Ford smart play. Muchísimas gracias, said Johnny Cueto to Gorkys Hernandez. Giants ahead 2-1 here as we go to the last of the 5th inning. They have built up, we double checked it, DeGrom now at 96 pitches. You keep thinking all these young Met pitchers, he's not that young anymore. He's 28 years old now. And he takes a called strike. So,
and they're going to let him go a little bit. They had a rough game yesterday, and I know they brought another guy in for the Harvey fiasco deal, but he is strong enough, and I think he's proven that he's strong enough in his velocity. Sometimes when you look at a pitcher and how he's pitching, if you're not going to baby him a little bit, being early in his career, if you're going to let him go, then you look at execution of pitches, and if his stuff is still there, and if his slider's still there, his fastball command and velocity is still there.
That's right along the third base side. He's got himself a base hit. Nunez holds him to a single. 4th hit for the Mets, but a leadoff single by the pitcher, and he has shown himself to be a very good hitting pitcher.
That was a that pitch was executed exactly what he wanted to do, a little cutter away, and he just kind of flailed at it. I mean, it's an emergency hack. You saw that his foot was down. He actually kind of hit the top part of the ball, but he hit it just perfect enough to sneak it by Gillespie, who was playing off the bag a little bit. Ball went down the line.
So here is Conforto, who's been a hot hitter. It's interesting, the Mets, they score a lot of runs. The Mets have averaged a little over 5 runs per game this year. One of the highest scoring teams in the league. 3rd highest runs per game output in the whole National League. Ball 1 to Conforto. But they don't hit for average. They came into this game hitting .227. Conforto's hitting well, but their game is power. They've hit 44 home runs, 4th most for home runs of any team in the National League. Curveball off the inside.
And they're missing their best power hitter, Cespedes. I mean, he's the guy that was kind of they look to kind of be their danger, their pop in the lineup. Bruce has 8 homers. This kid here has 7. They do have it, but they're going to miss Cespedes, I think, coming down here in the next few weeks.
Yeah. He hit 6 home runs, and he had not hit any for a while. Then all of a sudden he hit a bunch of them in a couple of days in 3 in 1 game. So they miss him. And also Lucas Duda, who behind Bruce is their other top left-handed power hitter. He's on the disabled list. And they're still hitting a lot of home runs. So now it's 3 in 1 to Conforto, who walked leading off this game in the 1st inning. And up till now has accounted for the only Mets run, driven in by Neil Walker. You've got T.J. Rivera, a right-handed hitter, on deck.
With the pitcher at first base, this is a situation you want to try to get a ground ball or something, because he's going to clog up the bases. And it's a perfect double play opportunity right here if you can do it. Conforto is going to obviously try to figure out how to keep the ball in the air, but you got a guy running the bases ahead of you there that's going to clog it up. As a pitcher, I'm wanting to try to get this ball on the ground as quick as possible, and try to get 2 outs out of the deal.
You see the Giants infield set for the double play. Belt near the bag at first with the runner. DeGrom, 3-2. That's into right center field, base hit. And DeGrom will stop at second. So Conforto gets the hit. 2 men on, nobody out. And we're getting into the big part of the lineup for the Mets now. Well, Mike Kruko's not here, but his son Jarek is. Jarek, who works here in New York City. And of course the Giants are in town. And if you grew up a Kruko, you can't help but be a Giants fan.
I don't think you get a Christmas gift if you're not a Giants fan.
Jarek, who is not just a great fan, a really knowledgeable fan. Fun to talk baseball with him. And that's an area where there are a lot of Giants fans congregating, not far from the Giants dugout.
There he is. Kruko.
Jarek's dad, sort of, here tonight. Foul ball off the bat of T.J. Rivera, who has struck out twice against Matt Moore. Jay Bruce on deck. Mets did get shut down yesterday by the Miami Marlins. In 9 straight games before that, they scored no less than 5 runs before yesterday, even without some of their top sluggers missing, without some of their top sluggers in there. 5 or more in 9 straight games. Down the left field line, Nunez will play the carry. DeGrom scores the tying run. Conforto stops at third on a double by Rivera. It's 2-2.
That ball there, he had struck out twice before that, Moore, and he tried to throw that ball kind of in, and he kind of left it over the middle in, and he connected on it. He just kind of left it down and in. I would actually even say I'm wrong on that. That ball really wasn't middle in. The ball was just down and in. I think Buster wanted a little bit more near his hands. If you leave a ball down and in like that to a lot of right-handers, they'll tend to want to drop the barrel and pull that ball exactly how he did it. He got it to the corner. I think he just kind of missed on the height that he wanted. You want to try to tie up a hitter right there. You don't want to allow him to get extended. And sometimes that ball down into a righty allows you to get extended, causes you to kind of jerk balls down the line. Now we're in a little bit of a predicament because the tying run scored and we have no double play situation, and you got the go-ahead run 90 feet away.
And Jay Bruce, one of the most dangerous of all the Mets hitters currently in the lineup. Second baseman Joe Panik is well out into right field for him. Popped him up. And Gillespie into foul ground. Big out right there. 1 away.
Big out.
And they got him on 1 pitch. Well, here comes Wilmer Flores. His numbers are not very good, as you see George Cactos up in the Giants bullpen now. Wilmer Flores, though, has been very good against left-handed pitching. He's like 2 different guys. You put a left-hander out there, he's a tough hitter, tough out. Tonight he's hit a fly ball deep to center, and he's doubled to left. 2-2 the score. Now Matt Moore would like to see if he could strike him out in this spot. Just off the outside. Conforto at third. T.J. Rivera at second. The Giants infield in halfway. Back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch number 84. Thrown tonight by Matt Moore. 36 of those were thrown in the first inning. Pitch number 85 now. I'm telling everybody how many pitches. It's right there on the screen.
It's all right.
I should just watch my own telecast here.
Guys are locked in. They're locked in on the game. They don't necessarily look in the upper left corner all the time. It's great.
That is foul down the left field line. 1-2.
This is a big strikeout situation right here. You're going to see Buster and him trying to get on the same page. You want to strike him out. This is a we're going to go for the strikeout. If anything, if you don't get this pitch, we're going to go for the next pitch, because you have a base open. Then you can get double play scenarios will be put into play if you do walk him, but you need to try to strike this guy out.
An accidental foul ball. He tried to check his swing. Ball glanced off the bat inadvertently. 1-2. Every pitch is critical here. in a 2-2 game, last of the 5th, with runners at second and third. Just got a piece of it off the glove of Posey. The foul tip. Still 1-2.
See, Moore shook a few times to get back to that fastball. I think, you know, Buster's probably looking at trying to end the at bat, you know, and almost curveball is probably a pretty good pitch in that situation, as well as the fastball away. Obviously, you did it. You missed way up and in on a guy that check swung. He got his eyes kind of up right there. In a curveball, a lot of times you get his eyes up on a curveball. He decides to swing at it. The ball falls off the table. Probably what Buster's thinking about trying to do here. At some point in the bat, you got to throw a curveball in the dirt.
And that is too low. 2-2. Staying with a hard stuff there, but low.
Yeah, it looks like it kind of came back to the strike, but how Buster had to catch that ball, it ends up being a ball. Those cutters that come back, it's hard to keep those balls up in the zone right there because it cuts down on the hands.
On the hands with that one, a pop-up. Arroyo, 2 down. Well,
that's as good as a strikeout.
As good as a strikeout. The runners having to hold. He's gotten a couple of pop-outs since the runners were out there at second and third. He's not out of it just yet. Neil Walker coming up.
Great job of Matt having confidence in that fastball. I mean, he kept pounding it. He wasn't going to give in. And, I mean, I thought for sure he was going to throw a curveball at some point in time, and he just kept shaking to the fastball. He's really hot on the inside part of the plate. You want to stay away from him but Buster kept setting off further and further away if he wanted a fastball, and eventually got it.
So here's Neil Walker, who doubled home a run in the first, grounded a short his last time. Strike, and it's 0-1. Well, and it's ultimately up to Matt Moore, right? I mean, Buster can say, well, this I think is best, that's best. Matt Moore is the one who actually ends up calling it.
Yeah, because he's got to go with whatever he feels 100% comfortable with throwing, or he's not going to have a convicted pitch. Now, if it's something Buster really wants and he's not okay with what Matt wants to throw up there for whatever he's seeing or feeling, or what maybe Buster's seeing in his pitches, you'll see that's when Buster calls timeout, runs out, says, hey, this is why I'm thinking that. Let's talk this out real quick so we know what we're doing with these pitches.
That's a foul, and quickly he's ahead of Walker, 0-2. DeGrom got it all started with a single. The pitcher singled to left, then Conforto singled. Rivera doubled. DeGrom scored, and they had a tie game and runners at second and third. Nobody out. But they got Bruce on a foul pop-up to third. Flores on a pop-up to short. And now he's 0-2 with Walker. Runners still out there at third and second. One and two now. Walker refused to go up out of the strike zone. Every pitch so big here. The Giants have had a hard time scoring runs tonight and every day in this road trip. They do not want to fall behind in the middle of the game to the Mets. 1-2. Popped up foul. This one will come back out of play. Well, it is interesting. Moore changing sight lines and all this stuff that you're talking about. And we've seen him break off some pretty good curveballs tonight, but not in this inning. He's not going after that. He's not going after him with that curveball in this inning.
Yeah, he's thrown overall. He's thrown some good ones, and he hasn't really been hurt by him too much. This kind of hitter here is a little dangerous. I think down and in, that curveball dropping down and in, if he can hit anything in, it's going to be that down and in pitch. I think they're trying to stay away from that.
Great save by Buster Posey. That saved a run. Is a Stanley Cup goaltending.
I've always loved the hockey blocks by Buster. Look at that. I mean, I like hockey blocks by Buster almost as good as I like Buster hugs.
Well, the hockey blocks can lead to some Buster hugs, ultimately.
Good point.
2-2 the count. That bent him back high and tight. 3-2. 96 pitches thrown. And he had that long first inning. And this next pitch will be his 26th pitch here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, it's been an interesting outing for Matt. I mean, the last inning before this, it was like the most electric inning I've seen him throw almost all year. And it seems like he's battled through this inning here a little bit more.
7 pitch, 3 up, 3 down, 4th inning. 3-2 the count to Neil Walker. Contos ready in the bullpen. Now Posey's going to go out and talk directly to Matt Moore.
Yep, this is a situation I was talking about. A lot of times, if they're not feeling comfortable with the situation, Buster just wants to make sure that they're on the same page. If he's shaking to certain pitches, Buster just wants to make sure, well, hold on, if you want this pitch, where are you thinking to throw it? Or are you, there's a base open here, we got to be careful, this and that. They just got to go over some strategy. And a lot of times, Buster wants to feel comfortable what's being thrown at him, and he wants to make the pitcher feel comfortable in being able to throw that pitch.
Switch hitter Jose Reyes is on deck. And there's the curveball, and that puts him away. And
great pitch.
A great pitch and a great sequence of pitches. He got 3 straight Mets with runners at second and third, and they do not score anymore.
College nights coming up. Next homestand, Friday, May 12th, Santa Clara University night, and Tuesday, May 16th, University of San Francisco night, presented by AAA. Your special event ticket for each night will include a good old college co-branded t-shirt. If you want it, call 415-972-2298 or visit sfgiants.com/special events.
Buster Posey leads off, 6th inning against DeGrom. That ball is hit well. High and deep to left field. It's on its way. Second deck. Spectacular home run for Buster Posey. And the Giants, 1 pitch after Posey and Moore kept the Mets from going ahead, have themselves regained the lead. Wow, what a shot.
He got both cheeks, both legs, both arms, all his gray hair into that ball. John, that ball was crushed. He swung it like a young man.
That was spectacular. 3rd home run of the season for Buster Posey. And there is a called strike to Christian Arroyo.
Tell you what, I know the offense has had a lot of ups and downs this year and has more downs on this road trip. But that man right there is a professional hitter. And he truly knows how to lead this team, and he's a good leader. And him being able to take this 96 up and just smash it the way he did right there. He's always ready to hit. He's blocking balls. He's catching a great game. He's making sure his pitching staff's feeling comfortable, and he can come in and lead by hitting homers. This Giants team needs that man on this team right now to lead and continue to lead like he's doing.
Well, that was a breathtaking home run into the second deck, and 106 miles an hour off the bat according to the StatCast. And they're saying 410 feet. It kind of went over above that 358 sign out there and into the second deck.
Here's this pitch he wanted down and away, and it came right back up over the middle. I think it was a backup cutter.
That's all for Arroyo, the 11th strikeout for DeGrom, and 3 of them have been Christian Arroyo. That had to feel good for Buster.
Oh man, he needed that. It just seems like yesterday in Cincinnati he was a little tired. He's probably frustrated and he just wasn't feeling good at the plate. And tonight, his first at bat, he kind of had the same thing, and then all of a sudden he must have found some life, hitting a double and now a homer.
3-2 Giants. Here is Nunez, who's 0 for 2. TJ Rivera in foul ground, and that's out number 2. So Nunez promptly retired. Well, Buster reminded us a little bit of Giancarlo Stanton, who had a couple of tape measure shots yesterday. This was the first inning, and off the facing of the second deck. And look at this one in the third inning. Down the line, there's a restaurant out there. Up on the windows of the restaurant, which is itself on the second deck.
That's a strong man right there.
And Buster Posey was Giancarlo Stanton-like with his home run tonight. And I think they shorted him at 410. I don't see it. It was very high in the air.
Yeah.
But into the second deck.
I mean, it's got to be. I mean, they shorted him. 413.5, but you know, it's definitely more than 410.
I was going 421. Connor Gillespie has a Buster.
Buster's laughing at that distance too. He's like, no shot. There's no shot I hit that.
Gillespie to third, and Flores, and that's the inning. But on the first pitch of the inning, Buster Posey hits a tape measure home run. Tell it bye-bye, baby, as Russ Hodges used to say. Giants are back ahead for the last of the 6th. To you by T-Mobile. Tomorrow, Jeff Samardzija coming off one of his best starts as a Giant up against Zach Wheeler, a former Giants farmhand. You see their numbers for the year, and that will be a 4:10 p.m. first pitch Pacific time. Carried right here on NBC Bay Area Sports. NBC Sports Bay Area. There. Got it.
Got it. I was going to correct you, but yeah.
Anytime. If I need it, just go for it.
Nah, you're a Hall of Famer. I don't get to correct Hall of Famers. I'm not that high up the totem pole yet.
Here is Jose Reyes. And he takes a called strike. A changeup there from Matt Moore. Giants have Katos up in the bullpen again, and the Mets bullpen has started to work. Reyes has gone 0 for 2. High in the air, shallow right. Pence in to call off Panic. 1 away. That's 99 pitches now for Matt Moore. He had that 26 pitch 5th inning. And the Giants love to see him have a quick inning here, where they could even discuss maybe sending him back out in the 7th, but it would have to be a real quick one. He also is due up 2nd in the 7th inning. DeGrom is up to 105 pitches through 6. He just had a 9-pitch inning, but the first of those was hit for a home run by Buster Posey. There's DeGrom. They had Robles and Edgin both got up during that inning.
Yeah, I would venture to say DeGrom is done. He's coming up, possibly coming up this inning as well, but they might let him go back out if they don't get to him.
That is along the right field line. Foul. In the Mets bullpen now it is Fernando Salas who has started to throw. And you see him, number 59. Dodgers play later tonight at Dodger Stadium against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Curveball in there. 1-2. Now did that almost feel like you threw that pitch?
Well,
it looked a lot like a Jeremy Affeldt curveball to me.
If I threw 6 innings, my curveball wouldn't be that good in the 6th. But that was a familiar curveball. Yeah, that top to bottom curveball is very, very tough to hit. You start this ball up and it comes right back to the middle. A hitter automatically sees 2 things right there. He sees 1, that it's up, and 2, that it's off the plate. He brings it back to the plate. Almost every hitter, especially early in the count, they're going to probably take that. They just don't have a chance at doing anything with it.
1-2. 2-2. Cutter up and away. Rene Rivera has lined out to center and popped up to first. 3-2 Giants. Matt Moore and the Giants on top here, last of the 6th. Lagares is on deck, the center fielder, right-handed hitter. Foul ball. Right behind the third base coach, Glenn Sherlock. And the ball dude will retrieve it. Dodgers play Pittsburgh tonight. There you see Salas in the bullpen, and now he is joined by Blevins, Jerry Blevins, a left-hander. Ooh, close. Called the ball. 3-2. A little too high.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm watching a lot of these balls get called for strikes. There's a veteran pitcher down there that kind of needs those. I might have a hamstring issue for the game, if we're coming into the game, John. If I see these strikes these balls being called here, I might be like, yeah, my back tightened up. I don't know if I can throw today.
You got the tight strike zone ailment.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do tight strike zones, all right? I need big ones.
3-2 the count. It has been a tight strike zone, I think. That ball is smoked to left field. Base hit. Nunez gets it back in.
I'm pretty sure Moore is going to go hitter to hitter, and he didn't get that hitter. Yep. Comes the big man.
Got the right-handed hitter. Lagares coming up, and he's got the right-hander. Katos ready in the bullpen. The change is being made. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. 3-2 Giants. We'll be back.
Sports Bay area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. By Jack in the Box. Come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich, only at Jack in the Box. By Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by AAA. Get a free Giants welcome mat. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/Giants or to a AAA branch for details.
We're in the big city of New York. Tonight, the Giants and the Mets. Game 1 of the series. The Giants ahead 3-2. The last of the 6th inning. And the Giants go to their bullpen now. George Cantos in to face Juan Lagares with 1 out and a runner at first. Rene Rivera, a catcher, not a fast runner. And here's Cantos. The season has not gone that well for him so far.
He's had some bad luck a little bit. I feel like some of his cutters have been hit, and especially in Cincinnati, he threw a pretty good cutter away first pitch, and the guy hit it for a homer. But I kind of asked a little bit of the guys down in there doing the computer stuff, and they felt like his swing and miss rate's pretty good. It's just kind of his balls have been kind of sneaking through the holes, and some of the shifts that they put on him, the balls have been hit away from the shift, which stinks because no one's there.
You get a ground ball, looks like a double play ball off the bat, but there's a shift, and it's an empty spot. Well, he got a quick 2-strike count here to Lagares. And Matt Reynolds is out on deck for the Mets, not Jacob deGrom. There's Matt Moore, Giants starter, looking on. He leaves with a 3-2 lead and a runner at first. And that cutter down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lagares was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, and he struck out in the 4th. There is Stephen Okert, the left-hander, up in the Giants bullpen. And the pitch. Popped up foul and back out of play. Came after him with a fastball. Still 1-2. Dwayne Kuiper, by the way, will be coming back from the radio side for the 7th inning to go the rest of the way. Dave Fleming on assignment. There's Matt Reynolds. Now he is going back into the dugout, and I think Curtis Granderson, a left-handed hitter, has come out now.
Okert's probably getting ready to face Granderson.
2-2. In fact, I wasn't sure why Reynolds was out there when they had Granderson available. Giants. We got a fist bump from a fan there. 2-2 the count to Lagares. Giants 3, Mets 2. The Giants here in New York for the first time since that one-game winner-take-all wild card playoff last October the 5th. The Giants won back of Madison Bumgarner on the 3-run 9th inning homer by Connor Gillespie. A very exciting night. The Giants advance to face the Cubs. That's a foul out of play. The Cubs eventually beat the Giants, and afterward all they could say was the Giants were the team we feared the most. And the Giants went into the 9th inning of that 4th game leading the Cubs, and looked like they might send it back to Chicago for a deciding Game 5 in the division series, with Johnny Cueto waiting in the wings to pitch that game. And that's not a scenario the Cubs wanted.
It would have been a fun game to watch. He got beat by 1 run, and the ball didn't even leave the field of play, the basket.
Back to the screen. Home run into the basket, not into the bleachers, not over the wall.
No. I'm pretty sure in the rule book it says a home run has to leave the field of play, John. It never left the field of play. It's an upsetting homer. Should be outlawed.
That's the only run he allowed in Game 1 of that series. The Giants lost 1-0. Would they have won Game 5? Well, if you ask any Giants player, we definitely would have won that game. But the Cubs, they were the team of destiny. It never got to a Game 5. They came from behind and won Game 4. That's a foul ball.
And once they beat the Giants, it was almost like everything went their way. Even in Cleveland, down 3-1, and even the 7th game, you know, Chapman blowing it, and they had the delay, and then they came back out and won it. It almost had that feeling after the Giants, after they eliminated the Giants, that this just might be their year. Eventually it has to happen.
It was one of the wildest, thrilling Game 7s ever played. On the right field line, Pence, and this one as well back into the crowd. So it keeps on going here. That's 9 pitches thrown by Cantos to Juan Lagares. Cantos, who of course is from Chicago, and he said when it got to time for the parade in Chicago after they won the World Series, he had to get out of town. He couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that would be. He grew up. He said he grew up Chicago Cubs fan. All those, you know, but he said when they got eliminated the way the Cubs eliminated them, he just couldn't take it. He had to leave. I mean, whatever you got to say to go on vacation, Jordan, it's fine. Yeah, if you want to use that as an excuse, go ahead. Or you could just say I want to go on vacation. But
and that's when I decided to go to Honolulu. That's when I decided. I not because I want to go there. I just got to get out of town.
That was my only option.
Pretty tough pitch there. I don't know how he got the ball in play. They get the one out at second. Lagares too fast to double up on that slowly hit chopper, which was amazing to me that he was able to put that ball in play.
Yeah, it's just that some years, you know, it just depends on the reliever and the years. And some years, you know, George, he had a lot of swing and miss stuff last year, and maybe the cutter is just taking a little bit more. He's a little older, a little bit more time to get going with the disappearing cutter. He's going to get some of those swings where they're going to make more contact. But the key to him is that cutter needs to stay down. If the cutter stays down, you're wanting it to be away from the hitter. But if it's just down, you're giving yourself a good shot to hit the ball on the ground. And when the ball's hitting the ground, that is a great opportunity for everybody to get outs.
Curtis Granderson, the pinch hitter for Jacob deGrom. Left center field, hit well. Still going. Lagares is going to be waved home. And this one is tied. And that run is charged to Matt Moore.
Here's the ball away. and it got away, and it was off even, and he was diving out after that ball right there. He had that swing right there told me he had no thought in his mind that there's being a cutter being thrown in to him, which you would have thought he's throwing me a cutter, but that's a frustrating situation right there.
So the Mets have tied it up again, and Bruce Bochy's going to make another move. Oakland coming in, 3-3.
Teachers that make a difference. You can vote for the 2017 All-Star Teacher at NBCSportsBayArea.com/AST. Visit NBCSportsBayArea.com and vote now. The winner will receive $20,000 for his or her school.
3-3 the score now. And Michael Conforto, who's been the overall Mets best hitter among the guys in there right now who are not hurt. And here's Stephen Oakland in to face him with the possible go-ahead run out there at second base and 2 down in the inning. Oakland, who at the beginning of this road trip with Mark Melancon not available in game 1 in LA, and he just came in big time against the top hitters in the LA lineup, shut him down, and he did the same thing again in the finale of that series on Wednesday. 0-1 to Conforto, who has walked and scored a run, struck out and singled. 3-3 the score. 0-2. This was part of a double switch, by the way. Justin Ruggiano goes in to play left field, and Eduardo Nunez moves from left field to third base. Gillespie made the final out in the 6th inning, so Oakland will go into that spot in the order. Wow. Powered it by him. Dwayne Kuiper will be back. Enjoyed it, Jeremy. Kite back for the rest of the ball game. It is 3-3 as we go to the 7th.
And better than ever, watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. You can hear Kuiper on 400 devices. That is amazing. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. It's Fernando Salas who is on to do the pitching. So back to a tie game. It's where we were at before the start of the 6th inning. And then Buster Posey decided to change all of that. So there's the numbers for Salas. Lots of walks. Gorkys Hernandez is going to lead things off. And the pitch to Hernandez is taken high. Hernandez has walked and he's struck out. DeGrom ended up striking out 11. He walked 3, of which one of those walks scored. As there's a strike to Hernandez. I think one of your keys was a quality start out of Matt Moore.
Almost got there.
He almost got there. Actually, he had to really work to get where he was at, and he almost had a chance for a decision. There's another strike. It's 1-2. And the one inning he really had to navigate was the 5th after the run scored. That Mets had runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. So here's Hernandez trying to reach. Close. 2-2.
There's one thing that I think history of baseball frustrating times and slumps all kind of tell you is to get out of a slump, whether it be hitting slump, pitching slump, winning, not winning, so losing slump. It's not easy. You got to fight your way out of it.
Out of play. Yeah, it is a game of multiple failures, that's for sure.
And now it's a game for the bullpens.
Here's the pitch to Hernandez, and it's high. So a leadoff hitter would be good. Remember, Ruggiano came into the double switch, so he's on deck. Here's the payoff. Got him. That's pretty nasty 3-2 pitch, I got to tell you.
It's definitely a fastball down at the knees on the black. It's a pitch that actually, and I think Hernandez, by the look of his swing, he tried to do it. It was almost like, I got to foul this off. I don't have a shot here. I'm just going to try to foul it off and hopefully get a chance at another pitch, and it didn't happen.
Ruggiano with a swing and a foul.
See this last pitch right here, the strikeout, right on the outside corner, 92, coming back to the plate. It was a ball, but tonight you don't know with this guy, to be honest with you. So
take a swing at it. Ruggiano behind in the count, 0-1. Joe Panik is on deck. A one-hopper, and that evens the count. 8 hits for the Mets. The Giants with 4. The Giants have had 2 home runs in this game, and that's why this game is tied. Hence a 2-run home run and a solo home run from Buster Posey, as Rivera's going to go out and have a word.
Hear that plane flying over?
Yeah.
We came in here a long time ago, Kansas City, playing the Mets at old Shea Stadium, and we had a whole meeting on that plane flying over because they told us that when there's a runner on second, they will try to steal third as the plane's coming over because you cannot hear the guy taking off running. Pretty good strategy.
Not bad. And the 1-1. Ruggiano rolls this one to Reyes. So here's Panic. And Terry Collins is coming out. So that's 2 quick outs for Salas. And we're going to get a new pitcher. So they definitely want a lefty to face Joe Panic. So here in Queens, it's a 3-3 ball game with Panic coming up. Ray Ratto and Kelly Johnson. It's on weekdays on NBC Sports Bay Area and NBCSportsBayArea.com. Also available, you can listen live and as a podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com. The happy hour. Here's Panic. It's a 3-3 ball game with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. And there's your new pitcher. It's Jerry Blevins. He's been around a while. See, he's been around a while, and his numbers are good.
His numbers are good. He hasn't given up any homers. He has a good live arm. You're seeing right there. His hits to innings pitch. That's a lot of times what I look for when relievers come in, because when you can come in and get quick outs, limit the damage, and not let a lot of guys on base, that's a sign of a good relief situation.
Panic down the left field line and out of play. It's no balls and 1 strike.
And he was pretty good with wasn't he with the Nationals?
Yeah,
he was pretty good with them too. He kind of had up and down a little bit, but overall this guy's been a really good, durable, trustworthy left-handed reliever for the clubs he's been with.
Panic waiting on the 0-1 pitch. And that's a little low, not by much. Belt to follow. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. So Panic trying to get something going with 2 outs. And he cues this one. This could be a tough play. And the long throw. And Panic is going to beat it out. Good effort by Flores, but Panic's got a base hit.
There's the town. Somehow they showed the town. Everybody in that little area. There's 376 people that lived in this town, and they're all in section 220 somewhere.
Yeah.
Good effort by Joe right here, cueing this ball and not just like thinking, oh, you know, where's it at? I'm just going to come charging hard out of the gate. I got a chance. Might be what the doctor ordered. There they are. They are excited. Oh, that's the wide section. I see a few of the wides in there. Yeah. Whew.
Here's Belt.
Family section, also known as Panic's hometown. Cheer it.
down low. Blevins started out with the A's. And you're right, he pitched in 64 games with the Nationals in 2014.
So then I think he was one of the guys that had to deal with the situation when they got sent home frustrated after the 16-inning game.
I think you're right. Belt takes low. And then the last 2 years, Blevins with the Mets, 73 games last year. Had a good ERA. Belt with a swing and a miss. It's where you want to be, 2-0, and Belt could not catch up to the fastball. That series you're talking about, Giants and Nationals, in 2014, he did pitch 3 1/3 innings, and he did not allow a hit. Probably 2 of those were in that game you're talking about, the Belt game.
He went home and didn't even have a World Series ring to prove anything.
It's a 2-1, and Belt fouls it back. It's 2-2.
I love bragging about the 2014 playoffs.
Yeah.
You know,
I can hear that.
He's going to search his whole life for a ring, and he had a chance until we went in there and just blew it for him. I've had a couple green teas while you were gone, Kate.
Right. So there's caffeine in green tea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a couple of them, though, so might have doubled that situation.
Here's the 2-2 to Belt with Panic at first. Got him, and that'll end the inning. Belt with the hat trick tonight. It's 3-3. In Queens, we have a 3-3 ball game, and it'll be Rivera, Bruce, and Flores, your 2, 3, and 4 hitters, facing Steven Okert, who came in and got the big strikeout on Michael Conforto.
Okert back out. Rivera's got to face him. He's kind of moving up the pitching depth chart here.
I believe he is. There's a pitch just a little wide. Rivera doubled in the 5th. Here he shoots it sharply on the ground, but it's right at the kid. 1 out. And here's Jay Bruce.
This is a matchup here. I'm thinking Bruce is probably walking up to the plate saying, I'm about to see a steady repertoire of slurves and maybe a fastball.
Well, the Giants believe he's going to pull the ball, at least on the infield. He's got a lot of power all over the ballpark. He's just a very relaxed hitter. And a strike, and it's 0-1. This is the defense. Sometimes he swings so easy, you just don't think that the balls that he does get in the air are going to go out, and then they do.
He just backspins the ball as good as probably anybody in the game.
Oakland with a high fastball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Monday night here in New York City. A cool night, nice day, however, in the Big Apple. Swing and a miss, 1-2. 2 more games left in this series. And the pitch, and it's outside. It's 2-2. Oakland thinking, well, if he swung at one, maybe he'll swing at another.
And you want to kind of expand the zone with him right there. You did see he kind of took one, he swung and missed at one. I'm going to go a little further, see if he can give him a chase, maybe kind of bring it back to the plate a little bit more, but I'm not giving in. Steady dose of, and man, I should have been a catcher.
Got him.
Well, I'm glad Buster is doing what I asked him to do before the game today.
Yeah, so you had to talk with Buster.
Yeah.
So here's Wilmer Flores. Oakland has 3 outs and he's only thrown 10 pitches. When you consider how valuable he is to the bullpen, you'd like to be able to have him tomorrow as well. Flores is 1 for 3. Down the right field line and out of play. No balls and 1 strike.
Well, they brought Osich up because they know they're going to need a steady. You're about to see a steady dose of left-handed hitters here in the next few series. I mean, you got Dodgers, you got Reds, you got these guys. There's a lot of lefties, and you need some power arms and power left-handed arms at that.
Did you give Mr. Osich a little pep talk on his curveball?
Just kept him encouraged. I asked him after the first game if that was a curveball. He said, yeah. He said he just started messing with it. I said, keep throwing that thing, man. That's going to make you a lot of money.
Hit out to Pence. And Oakland's going to have a 1-2-3 7th. So we'll go to the 8th. It'll be the big boys coming up. Pence, Posey, and Arroyo. It's 3-3. Summary, and it's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Hunter Pence hit a home run in the first inning, gave the Giants a nice 2-0 lead, but the Mets came back with a run in the first, and then a run in the fifth, tied the game, and then Buster Posey hit a home run, and the Mets tied it up in the bottom of the sixth. So that's where we're at. It's a 3-3 ball game. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. And it's Addison Reed. You might remember Addison Reed as a closer with the D-backs.
I do. He challenges you. He throws a good little slider, but he's susceptible to the long ball. Already given up 4 home runs this year. Opponents are hitting about average off him, 246. But his walks to strikeouts, we would call that sexy.
He's on pace to be doing pretty good in that department.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So, if you know that, then you know he's going to be around the plate as Hunter Pence stands in. And the pitch is a bit outside. It's the history between Reed and Hunter Pence. 1 for 4. On the ground towards the hole. Spinning around is Flores. His throw is in time.
Thinking we might see Wotus on the phone.
I don't see Hunter Pence arguing about this.
Hey, Wotus is on the phone.
But he is on the phone, as you would expect. Here's the play. They got him. So here's Buster Posey. Just that little difference from starting out with a man on first and nobody out, as Buster takes down low. Now Posey's numbers against Reed are good. He's 4 for 7. He's got a double and he's got a home run. 2 balls and no strikes.
Just half step beat him. Half more cup of coffee. Might have that.
Here's the 2-0. And it's wide, 3-0.
Well, there's a good chance we're about to see his first walk all year.
Yep. I think he knows the history between he and Buster Posey. And a strike. Buster hit a home run to lead off the 6th.
I think he knew he got that one.
And I think DeGrom knew he got it. 3-1. He'll be letting it out here if he likes it. And he pops it to right. 2 outs. And here's the kid, Christian Arroyo. Arroyo tonight has struck out 3 times, so DeGrom had his number. And gonna miss. No balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, DeGrom, kind of velocity from DeGrom to the, he's never seen him, he's never faced him. You're not facing an average pitcher for the first time. You're facing a guy that's been pretty good since the day he got called up at striking guys out. So
and that's one thing that DeGrom knows how to do. One and 2. So he's worked it to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Remember, the pitcher spot is in the 7th spot in the lineup. Here's the 2-2 pitch. 3-2. So we'll see what Christian Arroyo gets. Got him. I guess that's the big leagues. Mets are coming up. It'll be Walker to lead things off.
Long pregame live at 3 p.m. on NBC Sports Bay Area. You can also this season stream live the Giants game on the NBC Sports app. For up to the minute Giants news, log on to NBCSportsBayArea.com. You can also find the Insider with Alex Pavlovic on there as well. Thanks.
So Derek Law is the new pitcher. It's a 3-3 ball game. Law replaces Okert, who replaced Contos, who replaced Moore, and there are the numbers for Derek Law. He's 3-0, so he might be the right guy to try to get a win here in Queens. Got good stuff.
Good curveball, great fastball. Not afraid to throw it in any count. Funky delivery. Drops a little Cueto, his little quick pitch like Cueto does. Kind of learned some stuff about changing speeds of the body.
Here's Neil Walker, 1 for 3. 1 ball and no strikes. Walker doubled in the first inning. Since then he's bounced out and struck out. There's a strike to even the count. And there's that little quick pitch that Jeremy was talking about. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. It's amazing what happens when you get a veteran guy like Cueto that comes over and you just watch him and you learn things. Hit into center field. This is in the park. Doesn't always mean what Cueto's going to do is going to be easy for somebody else to do. So you kind of got to, it's kind of a fine line as to what you can do and what you can't do. But clearly Law has figured it out.
He has. I also think though that Cueto does a real good job of one of the toughest things probably about that entire quick pitch is you really want to throw it for a strike because the hitter actually will stop a lot of times, and if you can sneak a strike by that or maybe get him to kind of lunge at it, if you don't throw strikes with it, it's kind of a moot point. He's still working on it a little bit. I think Law does it from time to time. Cueto, I mean, he's unbelievable at it.
Reyes tonight is 0 for 3. Did hit a line drive to third that was caught. Here he takes down low. Okert got through the beef in the 7th inning. And right now Law has to come in. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Nope, 3-0. So, guy with speed, that's a mistake. Now you got to keep an eye on him. Reyes does have 3 steals on the year. There was a time where he was going to run all the time.
Yeah, his first round with these guys seemed like if he got on, he was stealing.
He was gone. Familia is in the bullpen getting loose. So here's Rivera. Reyes with a pretty good lead. And there's a called strike, and it's 0-1. Outfield straight away. Rivera picked up a base hit in the 6th inning. The Mets have 8 hits. The Giants have 5. Reyes does not go, and now it's 0-2. Those 2 pretty good pitches right there from Derek Law.
That was that little slide step curveball. Good late movement. It just locks hitters up. They don't really know, they can't do anything with that pitch.
Reyes does not go, and that's down and away. 1-2. So 2 more games left on this trip. This is an important game for the Giants. Reyes leaning. He does not go. And
saw Buster. Buster did everything right there except for take his mask off and yell at Law to throw to first base. I mean, you see right here, he's like, hey, throw it over there. No, hey, Law shook his head. I'm pretty sure Law shook that pitch off. Like, no, I don't want to throw that one. Hey, no, bud, it means throw over to first.
Hit on the ground into left field, a base hit. So now you got the potential lead run at second.
I was kind of hoping that was going to be a double play ball right there.
When you're playing at double play depth, you're moving a little bit more towards the bag at second, and that's where Arroyo was. And now the hitter is going to be Juan Lagares with Reyes at second base. So the Mets in a spot here where they can take the lead.
As a reliever in these situations, you still have to deal with your controllable, and the option is still a double play. I still need a double play. I've got 1 out. I can still get a double play. I need to keep the double play in order through this entire at bat to give myself the best chance to get one. That's all he should be thinking about. What that does is it keeps the ball down. It keeps you finishing pitches below the zone.
Two and 0. Now you got to come in as Drupal Cabrera has come out in the on deck circle. Goodness, Lagares was sitting on that 2-0 fastball. He got it, and he's fouled it back. He did the same thing a couple of times with George Cantos.
That ball right there is a little bit in the nitro zone. He's thinking right now, I need a little confused on how he missed that ball, but I think the Giants are thankfully did.
2-1. We'll see if he gets another one. It's going to be wide. It's 3-1. So the 1-out walk to Reyes has really put Law into a tough spot here. He has to come in to Lagares. Otherwise, you walk him and you load the bases. So this should be in the strike zone somewhere. Dave Righetti's going to come out.
Osich is going to start warming up.
So Cabrera has been announced.
Cabrera's dealing with like a thumb injury, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to see a situation here a lot of times where I kind of like to use that to my advantage at times. When I know of the injury a guy has and I know he can't play, if I see a thumb or any kind of hand injury, a lot of times I'm going to want to try to make sure I keep that ball in, because it's not going to be a comfortable swing for him, and you need double play ball.
Well, he didn't play yesterday. So you read Buster Posey's lips. We got to come home. So Law trying to navigate through a walk, a single, and a walk. Giants will play the infield. Well, not all the way in, about halfway. There's a strike, and it's 0-1. So that should relax Law just a little bit, I would think.
And you know, Cabrera with his thumb and all those different things going on with him, he's not wanting to swing necessarily. He just saw a wild pitcher out there. He's definitely going to take. He's not going to give him.
Oh, 2.
I don't even know what that was. That was just filthy. 81. It looked like a screwball.
I was going to say, it did look like a screwball. Maybe something that backed up on it.
Pitch right here. It's like a changeup, but man, if he knew how to throw that again, he probably would.
And this little pop-up is out of play. Seeing the left thumb of Cabrera, looks like he's bandaged. Down low, 1-2. She's got some type of a covering over the batting glove.
Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, it's like tape. It's like the bandage tape. It's like a wrap. That it's probably whatever he's got under that glove, even he's trying to almost keep padded. My guess is there's a pad on that thumb.
I don't think so. Now the infield comes in, a couple of more steps. On the ground, it could be a pair. And it is. So Derek Law gets the ground ball. That's why the Giants are playing halfway, and we will head to the ninth. post-game live. You get highlights, reaction, analysis, and you get much more in an hour-long Esurance Giants post-game live. It's coming up right after the game. It's a 3-3 game. Jurice Familia is the new pitcher. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Familia is not. His last time he faced the Giants, he didn't have such a good memory.
Yeah, it was the home run by Connor Gillespie. He was suspended at the beginning of the season and activated on April 19th. He missed the first 15 games of the year. Where's the pie chart?
I'm pretty sure there's no secret in what's coming at you. 80% fastballs, 18% sliders, 2% splitter. I would think that every one of the Giants in the lineup are looking fastball. Pretty good numbers, though, overall. ERA is really good. Speaking of homers given up last year, he hasn't given any homers up this year, so he's definitely making adjustments.
Nunez does not have a hit tonight. He'd like to get on to lead off this inning, and he pops it up. It's going to be Reyes going out, and on one pitch, Nunez is going. So an 0 for 4 night. So here's the guy that Bruce Bochy's going to send up to see if one swing of the bat the Giants can take the lead before they get to the ninth.
Yeah, this is the guy that you bring in. This is all or nothing. Everybody knows it. The Mets know it. The Giants knows it. Pitcher knows it. He's hunting one thing and one thing only, and that's a fastball up over the middle of the plate that he can put.
Morris has faced Familia 4 times. He's 1 for 4. And he runs the first pitch down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. It's a 3-3 ball game. Giants have Mark Melanson and Osich getting loose in their bullpen. Michael Morris up there to try to do one thing. He hits it high.
He might have done it,
but maybe not deep enough. 2 down.
It got in him just a hair. It got in on him. You can see when he swung that bat, the ball, he got full extension with the barrel. It just seemed like it kind of caught him a little bit in on the hands, almost to where that pine tar mark is. Just got in. He actually might have got that off the end, huh?
Yep. Yeah, he knew he didn't quite get it. So here's Gorkys Hernandez. You know what, Gorkys, with 2 outs, might as well try to do it yourself. And tight, 1 ball and no strikes.
Just by seeing that ball come off the end of the bat there on a fastball in, you definitely saw Morris is a guy that was like looking for a fastball in 95. He was ready for it, and he was even ahead of it a little bit.
This is going to be a chopper to Reyes, and that'll end the inning. Now the Giants are hoping for extra innings. It's 3-3. Head to the bottom of the ninth. And coming out of the bullpen is the second lefty that Bruce Bochy has, and that's Josh Osich. And Osich will have his hands full. I mean, he's going to face Conforto, Rivera, and then Jay Bruce. But we've seen him starting to throw the ball pretty well.
He is, and he's utilizing a curveball, which I am all for. With a guy with that kind of velocity, to have that kind of speed change with movement is something that's going to allow him to equalize both lefties and righties. If you can throw a curveball like he's been throwing, he can get righties and lefties out without a problem, because he can throw the ball in on righties to speed up their bat and then throw that back foot curveball, and lefties have to be ready for that ball almost coming at him, which allows him to pound him with fastballs in.
Well, let's see if Josh Osich can start out Conforto with a strike just to settle everything down. Well, he'll get some help, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Conforto walked and scored in the first. He struck out in the second, singled in the 5th, and Oakert struck him out in the 6th. And he runs that inside at 96. 1 ball and 1 strike. That breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike.
Sometimes you'll get that curveball right there where you kind of back it up. You're trying to feel for it. You're trying to throw it for a strike because you want to keep yourself in the count, and it'll back up like that from time to time.
It's 2-1.
I mean, I understand he didn't hit the glove, but that doesn't mean he didn't throw it over the white part of the plate.
It's 3 balls and 1 strike. So the big fella takes a deep breath. He knows he's got to come in. And he walked him. That's
one of Osich's big knocks against him. He's got great stuff, a good arm. And he just walks too many guys, and you cannot a lot of times pitch late in the game, tight ball games, if the manager doesn't trust you to throw strikes and get guys out. He has plenty of stuff to get out of this, no problem. He can definitely do it, but they're really wanting to see a guy with this kind of talent throw a lot more strikes and trust his stuff in the zone.
So here's TJ Rivera. And people might say, well, why Osich and not somebody else? Well, the 2 really good left-handed hitters are hitting this inning, Conforto and Bruce. Now Strickland is starting to get up.
I think Buster just asked the umpire where that ball was at, too. I think there was some confusion going on. He might have blocked out the umpire right there.
Well, for Osich, remember, Conforto swung at the first pitch that wasn't a ball or wasn't a strike.
Bunt right here, and he kind of caught it right on the strike zone. I mean, the umpire is looking right at that part of the plate. I'm so pro umpire right now.
2 balls and no strikes. Osich has not thrown a strike yet since he's been out there. This is popped right below us. So Conforto will be held on by Belt. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And this is popped up. It'll be Nunez. Osich better get out of the way. And Nunez makes the catch. So a nice comeback.
That was a that's one of those ones where Buster kind of stared at it because he saw Nunez coming in, but he was about 3 more steps away from spear tackling Osich to tell him to get out of there.
Just got some adrenaline going right now, man.
Somebody get it. Somebody.
Here's Jay Bruce.
I've seen him hitting the double play balls.
Bruce singled in the first, since then he's hit a fly ball to left fairly deep. He popped out in the 5th and he struck out in the 7th.
He's feeling for that curveball. He almost looked like he babied that curveball in there. He didn't really throw it. A curveball, and that's what happens when you're learning this pitch and you're just starting to mess with it, is you have to realize that the curveball is actually an arm speed pitch. You can't really slow up your arm speed. You have to throw it with full fastball arm speed to get that ball to break.
This is hit out to Hunter Pence, and Pence is going to track it down. 2 outs. It just didn't sound right coming off the bat.
It didn't, and that's where velocity tends to help you out, is it can get on a hitter and beat him a little bit when you throw it middle like that. Being left-handed just kept it off the barrel of the bat, just off the label, which I think might have scared Bochy just enough to say we're going to have to switch this out real quick.
So Strickland's coming in. 2 outs. Conforto at first. We're in the 9th. Giants are trying to get it to extra innings. We'll be back. And a runner at first, and Hunter Strickland is the new pitcher. And for Strickland, this will be appearance number 14. His walks are a little bit too high for, I'm sure, what he likes. 7 walks, but he does have 14 strikeouts in 11 innings. And he's got the strut that my partner likes.
I love it. Guy comes in. He's I don't really like, I mean, he's got a little Joe Dirt going, but you know, whatever. I kind of wear him out for that. It's interesting, but you know, Hunter Joe Dirt Strickland, he's got all kinds of nicknames. But I do like when he comes running in the game, when he throws a strike, I mean, he is not afraid of you. I mean, he wins with it, he loses with it, he gets beat with it, he beats you with it, whatever. I'm going to come after you, and I'm not going to be afraid of you. That's a big league bullpen guy.
Going after Flores right here. And he starts him out with 96, and it's 0-1. Although, you have to admit, in what, the 2012 playoffs, he almost got in 6 fights?
Yeah. 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 We had to. It was 2014 playoffs. Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah, it was 2014. We had to. Him and I had to go for a walk in Kansas City after that game. We had to talk. We had to talk about kind of harness that.
This has popped up, and that's going to be out of play.
He had a little trouble with the long ball with lefties, but I think he felt like when he gave up the long ball that he had to stare a hole through the guy as he ran around the bases, and that didn't really go over so well.
Let's put it this way. He hadn't quite figured out how to ignore the guy after he hit the home run. But he did save that extra inning game.
Oh, man.
Against the Nationals.
Yeah, he's...
Here it's 0-2 to Wilmer Flores as the Giants trying to get this game into extra innings. Conforto with his lead, and this is hit up the middle. It's off of Strickland, and Arroyo's going to knock it down. So it'll be a base hit for Flores.
Definitely an interesting reactionary swing right there. I didn't think that he'd be able to hit it up the middle. I mean, he slide stepped him right there. I mean, that's a pretty tough thing as a hitter to do on a slide step fastball with velocity to be able to hit a ball like that. But maybe it caused him to react just enough to where he was able to throw his hands at the ball. But
tried to put it in play. So here's Walker. Walker is 1 for 4. That hit, the 10th hit for the Mets. So here's Strickland going after Neil Walker. And it's low. 1 ball and no strikes.
I think him stopping that ball, if you saw, I think that ball is hit hard enough where I think it sneaks through right there. He might have first and third, see?
Well, he seems to be okay. It's 1-0 to Walker. Remember, we said Walker's a switch hitter. This will be his second at bat against a right-hander. There's a strike. Conforto at second. Flores is at first. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. That's going to try to get off the field in a tie game. Out of play, 1-2. Hernandez straight away. Pence straight away. The same for Ruggiano in left. So Strickland gets a sign from Posey. And the pitch. Foul. Look out over by the Giants dugout.
That was an emergency hack swing because the first 2 pitches he threw at him right there were those little slurves or sliders with downhill plane that he probably was looking for based on that. And he kind of was way late.
Coming right at you. So it's 1-2.
This is where chocolate mousse could be effective if you can get it higher and high.
Foul again. The battle, Strickland and Walker. Conforto and Flores. Strickland gets the sign from Buster Posey. Down the right field line. Is this trouble? And this game is over. Walker doubles down the right field line. And the Mets are going to win this game in the bottom of the 9th inning in walk-off style. So it ends up that the leadoff walk does come back to haunt the Giants as Conforto scores, and the Giants with a well-played game on the short end again.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. So 3 runs, 5 hits for the Giants, 4-11 for the Mets. Final score, Mets 4, Giants 3. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live starts right now.